Okay, so we're going to get started now. So, hi everyone and welcome to today's webinar. My name's Chloe and I'm going to be discussing Sugar versus Salesforce and then take you through a quick demonstration of Sugar. I'd also like to introduce SugarCRM Sales Executive Gary Basil and FAE Business Systems Group developer Kyle Laurie, who will be available after the presentation to answer any questions. So on today's agenda, we'll start with a quick introduction to Sugar and I'll tell you about our company FAE Business Systems Group. We'll look at why companies are switching from Salesforce to Sugar, the true cost of ownership and what you get for what you pay, the flexible deployment options offered by Sugar, including open platforms and open ecosystems, which empowers users, the limitations that are placed on Salesforce users, including data limitations, what Sugar users are saying. We will run through a quick demo and then I'll open the floor up to accept any questions you may have. Now, if you're interested in speaking to us more in depth and would like to connect with me after the session, we can arrange and schedule an appropriate time to do so. So moving on, SugarCRM is currently considered the fastest growing and leading provider of CRM software. SugarCRM went from 150 employees just over a few years ago to now 500 employees. Their global alliance partner IBM was so impressed and confident in Sugar that it recently bought 70,000 Sugar licenses. A recent Forrester study names Sugar as a CRM leader. The report compares 18 mid-market CRM solutions and notes Sugar's excellent usability, sales functionality, and mobile capability. Sugar also scored high in its support for internalization and in the flexibility that Sugar's open source platform offers to developers. As you can see from the list displayed, Sugar is working with some very well-known and successful companies. These customers are prime examples that Sugar is well received throughout many industries. So a little bit about our company, FAE Business Systems Group. We have over 25 years of consulting and development experience and more than 200 current clients from small through to large organisations. We are SugarCRM authorised and gold partners with a dedicated team of in-house support and development staff. We are also an award-winning developer with a number of successful Sugar integrations and hundreds of successful CRM and integration implementations, including our QuickBooks, Sage 100 ERP, Intact, Constant Contact, and Authorised.net integrations. So why are companies selecting Sugar over Salesforce? There are actually a number of reasons why. They resent being forced into costly upgrades due to many limitations. They can often cut their CRM expenses in half or more by switching to Sugar. They want to make their Salesforce more productive with full mobile access. They want easy customizable CRM that can accommodate their business needs and processes. And they want to control their data and have more deployment options. So the total cost of ownership, the enterprise edition of Salesforce is $125 per month, so that's $1,500 per user per year. With Sugar, the lowest priced professional edition that comes standard with workflow API access and customizability is $35 per month, which is $420 per year per user. So for 10 Salesforce users, that would calculate to $15,000 per year compared to 10 Sugar users at $4,200 per year. So Sugar's less than a third of a price of the comparable Salesforce edition. In addition to license fees, there's a number of other fees incurred by Salesforce clients. The most common complaint that we see from Salesforce users is additional and unforeseen costs for extra data storage. Sugar Professional Edition starts off at 15 gigs of storage space that can be used for either data or documents, whereas Salesforce have a formula for allocated data and document storage based on the number of users subscribed to the account. So for example, they have a calculation of 20 megabytes data storage plus 612 megabytes of document storage per user. So that can be really difficult for Salesforce users to manage, and we hear a lot of complaints about being billed automatically after they go over their storage limits. And it's not uncommon for Salesforce users to go over their limits simply through archiving emails. And that's a function that we all sort of really need to be doing and not have a limit on. As far as development's concerned, both Salesforce and Sugar are CRM platforms that can be completely customized and adapted to run any aspect of your organization. Many Salesforce reps are misinformed and state that Sugar requires programmers to perform customization, but it's simply not true. Through Sugar Studio, administrators can change and expand almost any aspect of Sugar by clicking and dragging field components, and I'm going to take you through a quick demonstration of how easy that is to do later on in the presentation. And it's so simple that even marketing and sales can manage to make these sort of changes. Both Salesforce and Sugar are designed with the ability to extend the model beyond the out-of-the-box experience, although these two products have very different approach for this. Salesforce only allows customizations through their own proprietary language, and it's also known as Apex. This requires specialized skills, and they're generally pretty expensive to hire. Apex developers have no insight into the core application code or raw database information, whereas Sugar's built upon an open source platform of MySQL database and PHP, which is the foundation of a large segment of today's web applications. So there's a lot of skilled developers that are readily available, and unlike Salesforce, every element of Sugar is available for code level inspection by a developer. And there's a lot of training material that exists, so it's really quite easy for developers to learn and train and get up to scratch and be able to make these customizations and integrations. So now we're looking at the version parity. So Salesforce.com have until recently been able to get away with dictating a high price point. For a long time, Salesforce.com has claimed that their pricing is justified because of their features that no other CRM company could seem to rival or outdo. But over the last couple of years, due to the introduction of Sugar and other CRM companies, the options and pricing for every CRM user have increased dramatically. The sales strategy of Salesforce is to get the customer in the door at an inexpensive price, then they're forced to upgrade to a more expensive edition just to get the functionality they require. If you're looking at Salesforce, I'd just be aware that if they do offer you an initial discount price but lock you into a contract, then you'll be up for the big bucks when that introductory price expires. Sugar gets you in at an introductory level price of $35 per user per month for the professional edition, and that pretty much covers 90% of the typical required features. So pretty much Salesforce penalizes you for being successful in your CRM deployment. If your CRM usage grows, you'll need to keep moving up to the more expensive editions, and Salesforce is typically 2 to 4 times more expensive than Sugar for the similar functionality. And with Sugar, you'll find there's no upsell. You get workflow, web services, and API access standard with Sugar Pro, and the reason why we state that Salesforce Enterprise is comparable edition is that you can't get the workflow, web access, or API access with the Salesforce Professional edition. So therefore, you must have Salesforce Enterprise to be able to have the same functionality as the Sugar Professional. Just going back, on that note, we also hear a lot of concerns upon the nature of the organization. So I'm sorry, in regards to the deployment, Sugar's best-of-breed platform enables you to rapidly build and deploy powerful mobile solutions, social applications, and business processes to the entire organization in the cloud or on-premise. Salesforce is only available as a hosted service in the cloud. Whilst it's clearly a very popular choice, it's not always the only correct answer for an organization. There can be problems with cloud hosting in terms of access and raw data for reporting and integration. And we hear a lot of security concerns depending on the nature of the organization. SugarCRM offers their clients the option of hosting in the Sugar Cloud in a private cloud such as Amazon or IBM Smart Cloud, or on their own server in their own data center. The hosting flexibility gives organizations a lot more choice, flexibility, and speed. And we also see a lot of self-hosting as a choice made by companies who have invested the most amount of money into their CRM system. and also from clients that have sensitive information such as defence, finance, institutions and medical services. With self-hosted CRM solutions, it's easier to perform data integrations between business systems with high transaction volumes. For instance, if you need to update your system with thousands of line items from an ERP system, it's a lot easier to perform this task with database-to-database queries than it is to design and execute web API calls. So hopefully that explains a little bit about the flexibility of Sugar. As far as the ecosystems are concerned, by creating an open platform and an open ecosystem, Sugar has empowered clients and partners, allowing them control to dictate how they use their CRM system and ultimately, allowing them to grow their business. Sugar has an open API, so it makes it easy to integrate with other applications, and you can integrate with Sugar on your own terms, whereas with Salesforce, you have to wait for them to create the integration or the app and then add it to their marketplace. So with Salesforce, there's a number of artificial limitations, and we call them artificial because they don't actually have to be there. So they're intentionally dictated by Salesforce to force their clients to continually upgrade from one edition to the next. Or they charge you extra for reaching those artificial limitations. There seems to be so many limitations throughout Salesforce that they've actually released a limitations document that lists all the limitations and artificial limitations. An example of the artificial limitations is their custom apps, which include things like LinkedIn, proposal software, electronic signatures, email integration, web-to-lead forms, and so forth. And you're limited by the number that you can have in the. So like in the Professional Edition, which is the $65 per month, you're allowed to have up to 5 custom apps. If you want more than 5 custom apps, then you'll need to increase to the Enterprise Edition at $125 a month, and that'll allow you 10. And then if you want more than 10, then you have to move up to the Unlimited Edition for $250 per month. So with Sugar, there's no such limitation. There's custom fields. The Professional Edition of Salesforce allows you to create 100 custom fields. And if you need more than that, then you're forced to move up to the Enterprise Edition, which allows for 500 custom fields. Then you have the tabs. If you are a Professional Edition user, then your screen will show a maximum of 10 tabs. If you want more than those 10 tabs, then you're forced to upgrade. So I'm sure you get the picture, and there's other similar artificial limitations in Salesforce, which include territories, scheduled reports, dynamic dashboards, custom report types, custom fields, activities, workflows, storage limits, email limits, and there's many more. So now we come to data control. With Sugar, every client has their own application. You have the option to deploy on-site or on-demand and move deployments back and forth. With the weekly backups, all of your relationships are combined together in one complete document, whereas with Salesforce, they provide you with separate documents for each relationship, so you'll end up with hundreds of separate bits of information. Now, when you leave Salesforce, you'll be given 100 different CSV files that you'll have to manually go through, but when you leave Sugar, you'll be given one full database file with the relationships intact. So what companies are saying about Sugar? Sugar is just PHP. No one speaks the Salesforce language. The cost of Sugar is 1/3 of Salesforce. We use more functionality for less. We have more flexibility.